in this video. Hello everybody and welcome to the 33rd video on the channel. It is another geometry theorem, but before I get into that, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button for more awesome content just like this. Without further ado, let's get into our answers to our previous questions. For today, we have two questions, the practice problems from last time. Trust me, you should watch the last video. Alright, and the two questions, the first answer is 30 degrees and the second answer is 140 degrees. Alright, let's go to the lesson. Alright, here is the lesson and this is the geometry proof. Here we have a triangle and its three interior angles. Angle A, angle B. Even though everything's written right beside it, I'm going to draw arrows just in case and write the number, or letter, sorry. Angle B on the bottom left, angle C on the bottom right, kind of. And then there's an angle X, which is outside the triangle. Now, X is equal to A plus B. The angle measure of X is equal to the angle measure of A plus the angle measure of B is the theorem. And here is the proof. Since the line on the bottom is a straight line, that means the angle is 180 degrees for the full line. So, any angles on it, so then two adjacent angles that intersect both parts of the line, essentially C and X, would be equal to 180 degrees if you added up the angles. So, if we have X plus C is equal to 180 degrees, then the interior angle of a triangle, the interior angles of a triangle, the sum of their angle measures, is also 180 degrees. So A plus B plus C is equal to 180 degrees. And since they're both equal to 180 degrees, they should be equal to each other. So X plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. Then you have to subtract C from both sides. So then you get X is equal to A plus B, which is the original proof. Now, you should also know how to do different applications of it. That'll be covered more in the example. But what I mean is, let's say if I want to solve for the angles either A or B, I should recognize that, and I should be able to move instead of X is equal to A plus B, I can do X minus B is equal to A, or X minus A is equal to B, or X minus B is equal to A. So, and you should also be able to know how to do it with a little algebra manipulation. If you need help with algebraic expressions, if you need help with any of that, make sure to watch my Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 series. They're also very good to watch before you watch the geometry series. And that'll get you started on, alright, this is how I manipulate the expression, and this is how I can get to my answer. Let's go to the examples. Today's examples. They have two examples today. Let's start with the first one. Now, just so you know, for the first problem, we have to find out the angle X. And for the second problem, we have to find out the two angles which have X inside of it. So essentially this angle A or B and this angle, let's say A1. These are the two angles that we needed to find for the next problem, but we'll get into that when we have to. So, if we look at it, if we look at the base triangle figure, then what we notice is we have X, A, B, C can be anywhere, C could be anywhere, B could be anywhere. But if you notice, X is equal to A plus B, our proof, it looks exactly like this, except the angle C is not given. But we don't need the angle C because we know that X is equal to A plus B. So X is equal to 40 plus 70. So becomes X is equal to 110 degrees. Number 2. This example is a little trickier, but it should be fine. So what this example is mainly comprised of is it's actually pretty simple. We need to find the two angle measures which have X inside them. So that starts by finding out what X actually is. Now this is not really X is equal to A plus B, but if you look at it, this exterior angle is X, this is kind of like the B angle, and this is kind of like the A angle. So we can say that 120 is equal to x plus x minus 10 if we add up the two angles. So then we get 120 is equal to 2x minus 10. If we add 10 to both sides, we get 2x is equal to 130. After that, if we divide both sides by 2, we get x is equal to 65. Alright, that is pretty simple, right? But no, we're not done. We have to find out both of the angles. The first angle, which is denoted by x, is equal to 65 degrees. But the second angle is x minus 10. So we're gonna call that angle theta 2. Now I think it's time I give something a little bit on Greek letters. Normally you see me using A, B, C for variables, but when we're dealing with angles, theta is a very common variable. So it's pretty useful if you know what that is. There's also psi, phi, different variables, but we're going to use theta. So this is equal to theta 1, and this is equal to theta 2, and theta 2 is equal to x minus 10, which is 55 degrees. So those are our examples. Of course, none of the videos would be complete without me assigning you some practice problems. And luckily for you, instead of making it like the last one where you have to solve for the different angles, this time it's just x and we have to solve for one angle. So if you look at the figures, and then you can solve for x. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.